Okay guys, so yesterday I made a video, then I deleted it because I didn't really word it very well. The video being how to live for free on the Dole and do nothing, pay no taxes essentially, and live in a van. So I just want to make a quick disclaimer which I will read off here. So yeah, the content presented in this video could or could not be fictional, and it is intended for entertainment purposes only, okay? The views and opinions expressed by myself do not reflect the views of any affiliated organizations, okay guys? It's for legal purposes, okay? Any resemblance to real persons living or dead or actual events is purely coincidental, okay? This video is not intended as professional advice, okay guys? And any reliance on the information provided is at your own risk. I disclaim any liability for any losses or damages incurred as a result of the use of this content or information provided in this content, okay? So yeah, for any specific advice related to your situation, I do highly recommend that you go and get professional consulting from an expert in that field, okay guys? So I just wanted to put that disclaimer there right now. And yeah, I'm not liable for any advice given in this video if you choose to follow that advice, okay? Okay, now that I've got that out of the way, okay, I've got to cover my ass, bruv, right? Got to cover my ass. The plan is, you need to get on the Dole, alright? So if you want to live for free, then the first step is you need to get on the Dole, okay? You need to get on Centrelink. You need to get that government assistance, guys, alright? I understand, a lot of people don't want to work, especially myself. I do not want to work, but that being said, I enjoy, some side hustles or whatever. I'm cool with that. So, look, in a theoretical situation, I would approach it like this, alright? I would theoretically go and apply for the Dole, alright? I would go on Centrelink, apply, add my information, and to get paid straight away, I would theoretically make sure that there would be no money in my bank account, because that would then put me on the priority list, which means that I would theoretically get paid straight away, alright? To maximize the benefits, like rent assistance, theoretically speaking, you could go and set your address to a friend's house and get yourself a PO box, and you can get that extra $150 or whatever it is per fortnight, okay? Ideally, you would get a full-time job. This is the best way to do it. You would have a full-time job whilst you live in the van, alright? That will maximize your return, okay? So living in the van is essentially free minus the cost of fuel and the cost to set it up, okay? Which I'm going to go through here on a few items that I have, okay? I'm going to show you guys what we've got here, and a basic solar setup and a basic explanation, okay? Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to setting up solar, but I did it myself. And I, give full credit to the help of DIY Solar with Will Prowse, okay? Absolute legend. Very knowledgeable man. Knows his solar like the back of his hand. You see what I did there? Anyways. So, ideally you should keep your job, okay? Okay, because you're sick of paying the rent, you're sick of paying all the garbage, bullshit and the cost of living. I get it. Totally understand, okay? But maybe you're completely sick of working, and so, perhaps you're mentally burnt out and you need to take that mental break because it's for the best interest of your health, right? Okay? Theoretically speaking, right? So you would go and apply for the Dole, get your PO box, you would redirect your address that you would be staying at, right, to a PO box. You would have your mail redirected from your main residential address to your PO box. So that way you get to keep all your mail whilst you get your government benefits. Okay, guys? It's quite simple. Please don't get on the Dole if you don't need it, right? That would be terrible, right? You should be working if you're capable, okay? Right? But like I said, theoretically speaking, if you are mentally unwell and you're feeling, very burdened by life and you need to have that mental break and, then I go and get on the Dole, right? Okay, so now you've set that up. You're gonna need a van, all right? Unless you're happy living in a fucking car, I really don't recommend it. I've never done it and I never would, okay? First of all, okay, let's look at some vans, all right, guys? Let's see what is available, all right? Okay, so I just typed in van. Theoretically speaking, I think that $5,000 would be a decent budget for a van, all right? Something half decent. You could get higher, you could get less. If you're willing to deal with higher kilometers like this van here, then I wouldn't recommend it. God damn it, I fucking hate this camera in the way. Okay, so you've got a van here. That's a decent sized van. Okay, you can rip all this shit out, and that's an $8,500 van. Let's say you could probably talk him down to like $7,000 or $6,500. But the kilometers are a little bit high. But if you know your way around cars a little bit and you know how to fix things, then this here is like a perfect height, guys. This is a perfect height. You could probably stand up almost in this. Well, you probably could stand up in this van actually. But yeah, that's a good start there. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to set my maximum price to say $6,500 because that gives you wiggle room, okay? Negotiation, all right? Now, you don't want high kilometers, all right? You don't want high kilometers. So, yeah, let's just, Nissan Elgrand, these are all right little vans. But yeah, there's quite a few choices here, man. There's quite a few choices. But, early bird gets the worm. You need to be patient. The right thing will pop up eventually, and you will find something. I see vans up all the time for $5,000. Like the Mitsubishi Express is a decent little van. So let's have a look at that. You can probably find something around here. Mitsubishi Express. Let's have a look. See if we can find something. Mitsubishi Express there, that's a 2002. Okay, so yeah, there is plenty of vans around here, man, that you could find that are reasonably priced. I don't know why they're not popping up here, but normally I see them all the time. Let's just do an 80-kilometer radius. Okay, let's have a look. All right, okay, we got some more vans here. What's this one? 4,800, 2006, 6,000 for 2009. The 2.4 liter version is in my opinion better. But okay, we got this one, Rego till next year. So this one has registration, 230,000 kilometers, which is pretty decent. It's got a bit of signage. You could rip it off, and yeah, like that could honestly be a clean little van. That could be done up pretty nice. We got this one here, 231,000. Has rego as well, right? Give it a good clean. It should come up pretty nice. Even has a little thing for the camping, the cover or whatever it is. All right, you know, this is even kind of pre-set up, but you know, you'd rip that shit out because it's gross anyways. But I mean, it's something, right? So, you know, that's a decent price. You could probably talk this guy down to 4,500. It's been up for 5 weeks. You know, people get desperate. So, you know, I would be offering him like $4,000 and see what he says to that. Maybe he might counter with 5 grand, and then you can be like, yeah, 5 grand, sure. All right. So that's a good little setup right there. All right. So yeah, so you need about 5 grand for something semi-decent. All right. These are very reliable vans. They're very good, reliable vans, but they're a bit of a tin, you know, like a tin can, right? So if you crash, you're probably going to lose your legs. They're very low on the safety rating, like 2 stars or something. Very terrible on the safety rating, but you know, you get what you pay for, bruv. All right. All right. So the next step. All right. Okay. You need to keep your job for now, man. You need to keep your job. If you plan on quitting, you need to, you know, quit your job once you get the van and once you have, you know, been able to get on your, you know, benefits, right, guys? All right. So now that you have the van, you've saved up enough money, hopefully. I know it's hard, man. I know it's hard, but you have to sacrifice, man. You have to. You have to get the money. You have to get the van. You can't live in the car. You will ruin your back. Trust me. All right. Get the van. Get a bed. Get a basic fridge. You need a 12 volt fridge. Okay. This is some examples of what you can find on Facebook. You can get. Okay. This is a very good fridge. Okay. I have this exact same fridge. All right, $350. You can get this fridge. All right. So I think it's like, must be like similar to the Costco fridge, but you know, Waco fridges are good as well. But this is a good fridge. Okay, you need a fridge. You have to have a fridge. If you don't have a fridge, okay, you may as well just, you know, you're going to be eating out all the time. Okay. You need to have a fridge, man. All right, need to have a fridge. It's a must. All right, no negotiable. Unless you can deal without one, but I don't recommend it. All right, now that you need a fridge, you can get them a lot cheaper. There's plenty of, you know, cheaper fridges and cheaper options. But this is to show you the options that you can have. All right, fucking hiccups. You're going to need solar panels. All right. You will need solar panels. All right, so you can get solar panels, 390 watt solar panels over here. I'm not sure what the dimensions are, but you know, you could probably fit a couple of solar panels on that van, depending on the width of the solar panels. All right. So yeah, they're IP68 rated, this is important because you're going to need that for your MPPT charge controller. Okay, don't ask me what that means. I just know the fucking acronym or whatever it is for it. Okay, so dimensions 1,700, so 1.7 meters long. All right, 1,000 wide. So that is. You might be able to fit one of these and maybe something a little bit smaller onto your van. All right. Let's go back and have a look. There's probably, you know what? Oh, here we go. Here's some free solar panels. All right. Here's some free solar panels. 170 watts each. You'd probably be able to fit about. Well, I had 2 on the van originally. I had 2 on my small van originally. So you can have the solar panels go long ways. So let's say this is your van, right? You can have the solar panels hang over the front a little bit. That's not illegal, okay? You can have it go over the back a little bit as well, okay? That's not illegal. There's only, like, you have to look at the law. There's a certain amount of length that you can go you know, above or behind in terms of like your car. So, you know, you can fit 2 of those solar panels on there, man. You can fit 2 of these, okay? It just might be a little bit long, and it might just hang over the van a bit. It will probably mess a little bit with your fuel economy, because, you know, it's going to catch on the air, like as the air flows up, you know, aerodynamics, you're going to catch on to the solar panels, which is it's fine. It's just that can obviously mess with fuel economy, but that's the price you pay if you want to have what's this, 400, almost 800 watts of power, man, which is fucking heaps, man. Heaps. All right, so okay, so what else? I'm not sure if I'm missing it here, but you want to have something to do with 30 watts or something. I think it's around here in the corner somewhere, but it's just has been crossed out. I don't know. No, here it is. 140 watts. There we go. There's an open circuit voltage, 41 volts, 35. Yeah, so these are fine. These are good. These are good. Okay, so I'm going to use the footage from yesterday for my solar panel setup. I mean, well, for how I set it up back in the day without fuse boxes. I should have done that, which I'm going to recommend you have breaker boxes and a fuse box for your batteries and anything that goes to the batteries, because that is for your safety, and you don't want to, you know, blow yourself up or burn to death in your van, okay? You do not want to burn to death in your van. Anyways, I'm going to roll the video. All right, so over here, as you can see, right there is a solar setup that I did. Okay, this is my solar setup. Okay, so over here I have used a PowerTech. It's an MPPT charge controller. As you can see, years later, my battery is still charging. I'm still getting solar. It's 14.1 volts. That means, you know, the batteries are very, very healthy, essentially. So this is like it's a little bit of a dodgy setup, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what, I was like really trying to budget, man. If anything, I probably should have used some fuses, like fuse breakers and stuff like that. Knowing what I know a little bit more now, I would most likely use you know, more fuses and safety measures for this. So as you can see, you know, this is my charge controller, still running strong. And over here, these are my 2 batteries that I chose. Okay, yeah, I think that's turned off. So we have 2 batteries over here. I can't even remember how big they are, so I'm not going to go into details about that, but you can pick these batteries up really cheap. In fact, probably one of the best options you could do right now is to go on Facebook Marketplace, guys. All right, and you can find some older AGM batteries, and you can use those batteries, and they're sold really cheap, because what happens is people upgrade their solar setups on their roofs. They upgrade it to lithium ion, so they no longer need the AGM batteries, and most of the time the AGM batteries are actually in really good condition, and there's actually usually nothing wrong with them. So you could go ahead and, instead of getting lithium, you could go and get AGM on a budget, and that will allow you to run your solar panels and charge your batteries with your solar. And then you can, you know, you can get a inverter. This inverter, I just bought it from eBay a while ago. It's a pure sine wave inverter. It's 1,000 watts continuous power apparently, and 2,000 watts surge. So you can't really run a dryer on this, like a hair dryer or anything. I mean, you could get a low voltage hair dryer and that would run it fine, but really these are for pretty small setups, man. You don't need a big setup. And on the top I have 400 watts of solar, or just under 400 watts of solar, and that was able to power my laptop, that was able to power my fridge that was able to power an electric blanket all at the same time. Within reason, I couldn't run it like 24/7 because, you know, you've got to account for clouds. However, if you were to say chuck on 600 or 700 watts of solar, then you would have absolutely no problems. And really the issue that I mostly had was that I would more or less run out of battery, and the solar couldn't keep up with charging the battery at the rate that I was using the battery. So, but, you know, for the most part, I never had a problem until winter time. And that's where you're going to need more solar panels, guys. Okay, so yeah, this is a little quick. This is like a little bit of a tutorial, I guess, how to live for essentially nothing in a van on the Dole, and you know, not working. Like, because let's be honest, some of us, you know, are happy to do that. A lot of us are happy to do that, actually. You know, we don't want to work, and that's fair enough. You know, working sucks. Totally understand. But you might even change your mind later in the future, and then you'll be like, okay, well, I'm sick of doing nothing. I kind of feel like working. So, you know, you might go back to a house like I did. But yeah, I still hate working, and I'll always hate working. Working sucks. Okay, so yeah, so I have pure sine wave inverter that runs to the batteries, and then from the batteries I have the charge controller. So that runs from the charge controller to the batteries. So as you can see, this here, that runs straight over to the batteries, right? And then from the charge controller, I have the solar panels. Okay, so as you can see on here, you've got a solar panel icon, you've got a battery icon, and then this is for, like, I think extra lights or something like that. Never needed to use this yet, but that's another part that you can put your power into. So solar, this runs straight directly to the solar cables. I run those wires, the wires run all the way up, all the way up there, all the way up there. And then I've got 2 solar panels on the roof, and I could fit easily probably 6 solar panels on this roof. If I really wanted to bust it out on solar, I could do like 1,000 watts of solar, man. And, you know, that would power everything without like 0 issues at all. And yeah, so, but honestly, guys, if you're going to get batteries, I would really, really recommend getting lithium ion batteries. They're just so much better for, you know, deep discharging. In other words, you'll get a lot more out of it. And they also last longer, I believe. And not only that, yeah, like I said, you'll get much more out of it. You can like discharge it a lot lower to essentially empty almost. And you know, you have a lot of discharges that you can have on these batteries, on lithium ion batteries, unlike AGM, which if you know, go past a certain amount of voltages, then you basically get 0 fucking power left, and the battery's useless until you charge it up. So yeah, so that's my setup, man. That's my setup. That's my cheap setup that I did back in the day. Oh, I mean, was it cheap? I don't know. Okay. All right, so that was my solar panel setup. So for basically, here's a diagram of how you would install your solar panels and your batteries. Okay, so you would have your 2 batteries over here. All right, so, and you have your obviously you can use 2 solar panels. You don't need 3 here. This is just an example. Okay, so you would have your 2 solar panels which would connect to each other, and then you would have the positive run from here instead all the way up here into this section here. You would connect those together, and that would go into your charge controller, your solar charge controller, which is like what I showed in the video, the red box thing. All right, those would run over to your charge controller, and then from your charge controller you would run that directly to the batteries. You would run your 2 batteries in parallel. You can run up to 4 batteries in parallel, I think, or something like that, or even more. I don't know, again, not an expert, but certain batteries I think have certain ratings for how many can run in parallel, which is what I'm going to show you in a minute. But so that charge controller would then run to the negative terminal of the battery, right? And then you'll have one running through a fuse and then to the positive. Okay, are you keeping up? All right, so I talk too much. I run out of breath. Okay, and then from here, okay, you would have an inverter, right? This will allow you to power your devices. Okay, so you'll be able to choose your inverter based on how many watts you want to use. All right. So for your inverter, let's say you get a 3000. I think I'm going to be using a 3000 watt inverter as an example. Right. So you would use your inverter and you would run that positive over here straight to the positive of your battery, right, through a fuse. Okay, fuse holder, like it says right here. Okay, guys. So you would go through your fuse to the battery, and then another one, obviously the negative over here to the negative of the battery, right? That's your inverter. And then from here, you would now run a breaker box. Okay, so this is basically it's just a fuse box. In layman's terms, it's a fuse box. All right, it's the same shit that you have in your cars, that all your 12-volt accessories and shit run through. All right, like your lighters and your sunroof and all that other stuff. You have a few different fuse boxes in your cars. This is just an example of, it's just a fuse box. Okay, you from this fuse box, you'll be able to run other 12-volt appliances. So from the breaker box, you would run your appliances like your lighting and your fans and other things like 12-volt pumps, stuff like that would, like if you want to, heat your water or pump your water and, have a working pumping tap, then you would run that through your breaker box, all right? And that has fuses in the middle so that you don't, cause any fires or shit like that. All right, you need to get a breaker box which is designed for how much power you plan to run. So no one size fits all. It all depends on your setup. Okay, so for your setup, for your breaker box, right, this is like Amazon, for example, right? Okay, so this is your breaker box, okay, or fuse box or whatever you want to call it. This will run, see, as you can see over here, you have different fuses, just like in a car, all right? And then you'll have, positives and negatives depending on your fuse box. They will run to your appliances or to your 12-volt appliances, okay? So here's a diagram here as an example. So you have your negatives right here and your positives, okay, and then you have the battery connector over here. So that runs to your negative of your battery. This one here runs to your positive of your battery, and then you can run obviously you can run your positive and negatives for your appliances that you want to run. Most likely would just be your lighting, okay, and then you also need to understand that these are also rated for a certain amperage, guys. So, you need to have the right gauge wires, all right? You need to have the right gauge wires. So different thicknesses of wires and different materials in the wires will, obviously be the main thing that you need to be really careful with, because if you use a wire that is not rated for the amount of amperage that you're going to be putting out, then you can burn through the wires and cause a fire, or you can trip the fuse, you can blow your fuses, you can even catch fire. Like I said, it can be very unsafe, which is why you need to really do the right thing with your wiring. That's why I said, like, if you really want to learn this shit, then you need to go and check out that other dude's channel, okay? DIY Solar with Will Prowse. The dude is a fucking master. He's a wizard at this shit, man. He is an absolute wizard, knows his shit. Seriously, you should, if anyone you should be listening to, it's that guy. He knows his shit, all right? So this one has maximum amps, 100 amps per block, okay? So one block is this is one block, okay? You have a maximum of 100 amps. You can split that, okay? You can split that. So I'm trying to look behind my camera, but 30 amp per circuit max, okay? Max 32 volts, as it says. So, it's fairly simple. It's not too difficult to understand. But yeah, you would want to have one of these for your 12 volt appliances. Because fuses are important and it will save you burning shit out. So if your wires get too hot, it'll trip the fuses and you'll essentially be saving yourself from burning alive. So yeah, so that's your breaker box, which is shown here in this diagram. All right, and now we're going to go and show you the batteries. These are the batteries that I would go for. Okay, these batteries here, these are really good. Okay, these are really good batteries. These are on special right now. I'm not affiliated. Wish I was. Would be nice to get some fucking commission. But just as an example, I'm going to be using King's 200 amp hour deep cycle lithium battery. Okay. So you will need to obviously make sure that you have a compatible charge controller which can charge this battery. Right. This also has the accessory panel, which I guess you don't really need it, but I mean it's kind of cool to have because you can see like the voltage of the battery and stuff. That's pretty cool. And yeah, they're not cheap, man. These batteries are not cheap. They're really fucking expensive, but they're also really, really good. Okay, because you can deep discharge these batteries. Like you can, like they're really good. Like you can run them longer and take the voltage all the way down to 10 volts, which is pretty damn awesome. And yeah, this one here apparently I think it has a 2000 charge cycle. Yeah, life cycle's 2000 here. And it also like it says here, you have your overload, your high low voltages, and it has cut off short circuit protection. It has a BMS system, battery management system, which is really important to have, especially with lithium batteries, because you know, a lot of people go to China and they buy the cheap batteries from like Alibaba, and then next minute they're catching on fire because they have no fucking BMS. Okay, you need to have a BMS. If you don't have a BMS with a lithium battery, like you're basically asking to get burnt alive or blown up in your van. You really don't want to do that. So make sure if you're going to get lithium batteries, you really need to make sure that you're not cheaping out. Otherwise, if you're a real cheapy boo, you can go and get some solar batteries from Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so if we search up solar batteries, assume my internet's not going to fuck me over. Let's see what we got when it decides it wants to load. This internet, man, the Australian internet's fucking dog shit, man. I swear to God. You know, I was like on the train and I had like 3 or 4 stops, like almost 30 minutes with full blacked out internet. Like I'm paying like out the ass for this bullshit fucking internet, and I have to deal with this shit all the fucking time. It's a real pain in my asshole. But anyway, so here we go. We have some 12 volt 190 amp hour deep cycle batteries. I don't know if these are lithium or not. I'm assuming they'd be like AGM or something. Let's have a look. So apparently, let's see. Brand new. I don't know what the fuck these are. Let's have a look. Okay, 190 amp hours. I'm either missing it, but I don't know. But you can use these for solar, obviously. These are solar batteries, okay? I would just assume they're like AGM or something like that. That's typically what they are. A lot of people are upgrading to lithium now because it's just superior in every way. But you can use these batteries, man. $200 each. But again, you know, cheap. I'll go back again. Solar battery. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. So let's see what we have here. It's getting late. I gotta go to bed in a minute. Here we go. 2 years old. This is for the people that you know are really trying to stick to a budget. You can find everything here that you want on the Facebook Marketplace, man. Okay, it's everywhere. Everything that you need, it's on here. Okay, so we have deep cycle batteries here. 125 amp hours. I'm assuming. because old mate here doesn't seem to know how to, anyways, deep cycle batteries, Telstra batteries or some shit like that. But yeah, essentially solar batteries all look very much the same, right? Yeah, 125 amp hours, double the weight, so 40 kilos versus the lithium battery, which is like 23 kilos, I think, if I remember correctly. So yeah, this is most likely a AGM battery, or like something like that. It'd most likely be like AGM, but yeah, these batteries would be fine. You can get a few of these and run them in parallels or whatever, and that would do fine. They're probably still pretty good in health, and they would do everything that you need it to do. You can definitely run these with a solar setup, no problems at all. You can get like 5 of these, and save some money if you don't want to get lithium. But I would still go with the lithium. I would just get like 1 or 2 lithium batteries, and honestly, like I would get 2 batteries. 400 amp hours would be fucking amazing with the almost 800 watts of solar that I showed you before. And then after that, you would go and so after you get this battery, you get 2 of these batteries, right? So yeah, you can do the math because I'm shit at math. But let's just say 1300, man, or 1250 or something like that. You would go and you would get a charge control. No, sorry, that's the inverter. We jumped a step ahead. All right, we would get the charge controller, guys. Okay, this one here, the MPPT charge solar regulator. It's lithium compatible, IP66 rating, which is what I was talking about before with the solar panels. You want to make sure that everything is compatible with what it's going through, otherwise it won't work. And it also has 12 volt and 24 volt input, because you can run the batteries 24 volts if you want, but yeah, it's up to you however you decide you want to do it. But yeah, so these are good. This is a 40 amp charge controller, so it's pretty decent. And yeah, this will charge everything. So basically your solar panels will connect into these, and then this would connect to the battery. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You would have diagrams and stuff to tell you how to do that. Okay, and then finally you would have an inverter. This is what the inverters look like. Okay, so they're basically, it's just a power system setup. So you have AC. So that's pretty cool. You got your USB in here. You also have a remote socket here as well, and you also have two AC sockets, so you can run appliances up to 3000 watts. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, you can run all your shit on here essentially, and yeah, you would run a fuse. Usually they have inbuilt fuses from what I remember, but you would still run a fuse on this line just to make sure, fuse breaker, just to make sure that if it does overcharge or go bad, at least you would be safe. Alright, so it's all about safety, man. You want to make sure you're safe. You're living in a small box, you need to be safe. Alright, safety is your priority, man. Okay, so that's essentially a solar panel setup. That's pretty much how I set mine up, except I didn't go the extra mile because back then, I just didn't really know much. Or I don't know as much still, but I know more than I did back then. All right. So yeah, that's basically how you would set it up. I probably missed a few things. That's fine. Your wire gauge. Okay. So the wire gauge. You need to look up a gauge chart. Okay. So you would look up the gauge chart and find out which wire is appropriate for the amount of amperages that you are running into your setup. Okay, so you need to have the appropriate wires, the right amount of thickness, or maybe you might need copper, whatever. It'll be based on the gauge, the size, like 6 gauge, 4 gauge, 3 gauge, etc. Those are the things that that's the most important thing. Fuses, correct wire size. The rest is plug and play. Okay, that's in your priority. Okay, fuses, wire size. Obviously, wire size and fuses are pretty much hand in hand, but obviously wire size is your most important, followed by fuses. Okay, followed by plug and play. Okay, that's literally the most basic way to set up a place to live for free on the road. So yeah, you can do this either really cheap and get away with doing it for probably less than $600 or $700, maybe less. I mean, if the batteries you can find, like I showed you, $80, right? You can get 4 of those, right? That's what, $320 or some shit. So that's like 300. Let's just say 300 for batteries. Okay, then you can, get a second-hand charge controller. You can probably find one for like anywhere from $30 to $150, give or take. Okay, and then you can get an inverter from Facebook, right? And just to show you, because it's important to show you as well. You can get your charge controllers on here. There you go, 20 amp MPPT charge controller over here. Higher the amps is better in my opinion, because you can charge it better. You can get the most out of your solar panels. Okay. So yeah, you can find all the shit that you need, right, on the Facebook marketplace, guys. Okay. And you honestly, I reckon you could build yourself a decent little system that will run your laptop and run your fridge and give you enough solar. You could probably do that for less than $500 if you really, really cheap yourself out. You can do it. Trust me, you can do it. Okay. And if you want to spend the extra money for something decent, like 4 lithium batteries and charge controller and all that sort of shit, just as an example, I put together how much it would cost. Just for 4 batteries, that's 800 amp hours of battery, plus the charge controller, plus the inverter, right? That came to 3.2 grand. Okay, yeah, it seems like a lot, but you could probably run a fucking air conditioner on that, man, for a decent amount of time. So you could probably get through the summer being able to use a air conditioner. Because you would have enough batteries and enough solar to be able to, charge your batteries, and also enough battery storage to be able to run the actual air conditioner. So that's really cool. And on top of that, right, you would also be able to, you would never really run out of power if you aren't running those, air conditioners, right? You wouldn't run out of power. So that's really beneficial, right? Because living in the van is difficult, man, especially during the peak of the seasons, right? Because when it's cold, it's fucking cold if if you don't insulate it and do all that shit. And when it's hot, it's really damn hot, man. So you need to have the right things. You can run an electric blanket, a throw rug. They use less than 100 watts. It's absolutely nothing. For gaming, if you want to do a gaming setup, you should probably get a laptop, because they just use less power, and screens use no power at all, right? So you can run a nice gaming laptop and a screen and all that shit, and you would have 0 problems running it on even the cheap system. You would still have no problems, right? And for heating in the winter, you would get yourself a diesel heater. Diesel heaters are pretty cheap, and they're not too bad. They're fairly efficient, but obviously, it costs money to run them. You need to fill them with diesel. They last only a certain amount of time. But you can connect them straight into your tank of your car, right? So, depending on how you want to do that setup, that's also another way you can do it. You also want to make sure that you have air to breathe in the van. You don't want to die from carbon monoxide or whatever. You don't want to choke to death on a lack of oxygen. That does not sound fun, and also it doesn't sound good for your brain. All right. So that's pretty much the guide. If you don't want to be a fucking hating your life in a fucking job in the job, hamster in the running wheel, right? If you are sick of working, then theoretically speaking, you can do all that. Okay. Like I said, I'm not giving you advice. This is just information. What you do with it is up to you. Okay. But honestly, if it was me, if I was going to go back and live in the van, I would do a nice lithium setup. I would do a really good solar setup. I'd build the van really nice. And I would probably try to work at least 4 days of the week and save as much money as I can. That's what I would probably do. Because it's better to have more money, living in the van, right? Living in the van, and let's say you have a job that makes you about, let's just say on the low average, $55,000 to $60,000 a year after tax. Okay. If you're living in the van, right, and you're not paying for rent and you're not paying for all these other additional costs, right, your wage is probably, you'd probably be able to save as much money as somebody who would have to earn around $120,000 a year. I reckon, honestly, because the cost of living is ridiculously high. Okay, like your rent alone is just ridiculous. Not to mention all the other costs that are required for living in a house, right? Like your power and your water and your electricity and all that other bullshit, right? It's very, very expensive. It gets very expensive. So all those costs that you could save every year, right? Then it turns your $65,000 job into the value of a $100,000 job, because you're saving all that extra money, right? And I'm not suggesting to do this either, but what you can do is get on the Dole and go and get a cash job and get paid in cash, and then you would have even more money per month. You can go and get a job that pays you like $1,000 a week in cash, and they are out there like doing laboring and shit like that. If you can be bothered, right? I sure as fuck could not be bothered, but if you really are motivated, right, you can go and do that. You can go and get a cash job and keep your Dole money as well. Now I did not do that. Okay, I did not do that. And I really recommend that you don't do it either, okay? But if you were to do that, it could work out well in your favor, okay? I'm not saying that you should do that, okay? I just want to make that clear. I'm not suggesting that you break the law. I'm not suggesting that you defraud the government. I'm not suggesting that you go and falsify your residency for extra benefits like rent assistance by using a PO box to redirect your mail from your residential address to your PO box. I'm not suggesting that you do that. I did not do that. I would never do that. I would never defraud the government. I'm not a bad person, okay? I would never do such a thing. I'm a law-abiding citizen, guys. I follow the law, okay? And I follow the law. If I've ever been on the government assistance, it is because I needed it, at the time. Okay, I needed the government assistance. Okay, guys. And I understand if you do as well. And I understand if you don't want to spend all of your government assistance living in a house and instead wish to pursue living in the van. And to be able to do that, that means that you would need to set up a residential address. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with setting up a residential address that directs to a PO box in order to claim an additional 100 to 100 and something extra per week. I wouldn't blame you, because it's very expensive to live in a house, okay? So if you have to do it, I understand, alright? I get it, right? Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers everything. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, only get on the assistance if you need it, guys. You know, you don't want the taxpayers to have to pay for your life. That's incredibly selfish, and how dare you? How dare you do that if you're going to do that, bad boy or girl? How dare you? How could you do such things? Okay? Don't upset the rats in the rat race, alright? And do things legally, do things lawfully, okay? You know, we're not about breaking the law here. Alright? And yeah, that is how to live for free on the dole and not work, not pay tax, you know, not pay for the costs of living. That is how to do it, okay? That is how you do that. Lawfully and legally, and without, you know, taking my my advice seriously. You know, this is non-fiction, guys, non-fiction, you know, non-factual. Not advice, not a professional. I don't hold myself liable for anything that you do based on anything said on this video. This video is not intended to be suggestive or encourage you to break any laws or act in fraudulent manners, okay? It's just for entertainment purposes only. Alright, let's just leave it at that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And good luck. Good luck with your endeavors. Good luck with, you know, escaping out of the rat race. Good luck with, you know, trying to, you know, get a sense of a little bit of freedom back. Getting a sense of yourself back, you know. Good luck being able to go and enjoy hobbies again. Pursue hobbies again. Have fun again. Live a little bit more freedom again. Not be such a slave again. I say good luck to that, man. You deserve it. I genuinely mean that. Just do it lawfully, okay? Do it legally, okay? That's it. That's it. It's a very serious video. That's why I had to delete the other one and remake it. Remake it powerful and more stronger than it ever was before. Okay? Just like Obi-Wan Kenobi, man. Strike me down, I will come back more powerful than I ever was before. You know what I mean? That's probably not how the quote goes, but you get the gist, right? I am Obi-Wan. I am Obi-Wan. Anyways, nice chat. I'm going now. Peace out. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something from this. I really do. I mean, I really put a lot of, I tried to put a lot of explanation into this video and information that could possibly benefit you. Legally or not. It's up to you what you do with that information, as long as you do the right thing. That's, you know, we're law-abiding citizens, okay? Remember that. We don't do the bad. We don't do the wrong things. Okay. We don't steal. We don't do things like that. That's bad. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, peace out. I'm going to bed. 2 weeks of this course left, man. Keen to get it out of the way. Fucking tired. It's 11 o'clock. And yeah, kind of regretting staying up this late already. But needed to get this video done. But yeah, anyways, peace out. Good night, and I'll see you in the next video. All right. Bye.